daughters are here today to showcase what you've given them. And I pray that through their art, many hearts will be mended. As we are celebrating them, may they even have more. And in the mighty name of God, we pray and believe, and all saints say. I can't hear you, and all saints say. I believe I'm seated with saints tonight, yeah? All right. I want to respect everyone who came through today. Give it up for yourselves, guys. Come on, clap for yourselves for coming today. Come on, you deserve more than that. Clap for yourselves. All right, so right now we're going to be introducing our neighbors by name. That's why I was telling you, get to know your neighbor by their name, their favorite color, what they love to eat. Because you're going to introduce your neighbor by their name, not you introducing yourself, yeah? Your neighbor will introduce you. So the mic is going to go around. Make sure you know your neighbor by name, what they love to eat, their favorite color, and then we start officially, yeah? We're going to have another runway now, the official runway. But now I expect you to be talking to your neighbor and asking them what their name is, what they love to eat. You know? Where's our second mic? Do we have a second mic? Do we have a second mic? Okay, we don't have a second mic yet. So the DJ is going to play some music, but right now I want you to just know your neighbor by name because you're going to introduce them like the superstars they are. DJ, play some soft music to keep the people talking. Let them talk.
Clap for us, Let's go now. Come on, get up for her, get up for her, get up for her, get up for her. Wow, okay. We have a beautiful queen over here. We walk over the pages. Let's go. Look at her. Give it up for her, yo. Give it up for her. Let's go, queen. Let's go, let's go. So I'ma take it right through this. I'm talking about system movement. So when you jump on the floor that you're using, first step is a step. You can move to the right. We have a brother over here. A brother over here. So go. Just your fingers, you can wave like say hello. Make a fist and you can get them go down low. No balance, that's how you do it. Alright, the brother's going right now. Nobody wanna see you riding, but if you don't even like it, they just wanna see you. Get up on him, guys. Get up on him. Get up on him. Get up on him. But my gosh, you can even go ahead with your feet just like this. Then show me the latest. We walk over the haters. What you do, man? That's what you do. Hey, now what you do? Sister over here. I'm here for the sister. Now what you do, my mom? Now what you do, my mom? Let's go. Let's go! Over here. Alright, so we have a car that has not parked well. If you own a car, please. We have someone who has parked UBQ. I forgot the numbers, but someone has not parked right in the parking lot. So we don't want to stop the runway, rather wait for the music. One time. Look at the brother smile. Look at him smile. Come get up for him, yo. Get up for him. Yeah. Beautiful smile over there. Beautiful smile over there. Look at this beautiful sister. Red and blue. Red and blue. Yeah, that's it, brother. That's it, brother. Let's go, sister. Come on, get up for her, guys. Get up for her. Wow. Right. Since I'm going to get the right way. Stop for her, guys. Get up for her. Yeah. Look at the beautiful. Let's go, sister. You got this. Yeah. Another beautiful sister taking the run right now. So, like it's not what we thank you so much today. Reminac. That's why we bring you on the right way. We have another beautiful sister on the runway right now. make some noise for this beautiful lady. Make some noise, make some noise. Let's go. Hey. One time. Yeah, yeah. Beautiful lady like that. Come on, make some noise for her. Make some noise, make some noise. Look at her go. One time. Yeah, she ain't got nothing to lose. Let's go, look at her go. Okay. Come on, make some noise for her. Make some noise for her. Alright. Something's happening in Kampala tonight. We're touching over. One time. Let's go. Get up for her now. Get up for her. Get up for her. Get up for her. One time. Hey. Hey. Come on. Look at those skills go. She is beautiful. Yeah. Let's go.
Show me you can come down.
Hey. Let's go. Come on, let's go for her. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. 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 You gotta go like whoa, whoa. Watch out go, watch out go, watch out go. Now show off, y'all. Show off. Show off. Let's go. Let's go. One time. Oh, let's go. The DJ sounds of the ones and twos. Thank you very much for our chichi. Thank you very much for our chichi. Hey, let's go. I'm telling you, this thing is a thing about the Father. And the Father God. Let's go. Hey, hey. Come on. One time. Let's go, she's looking beautiful tonight. She's looking beautiful tonight. Come on, make some noise for her. Make some noise for her. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, make some noise. Make some noise. Okay. Make some noise for them. Make some noise for them. Okay. One time. One time. Come on, make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise. Clap for them. Clap for them. Clap for them. Clap for them.
Alright, DJ, do something. We're gonna be inviting Florence to work for us one more time. The reason why I'm inviting her, she's the mind behind everything like this. Come on, get up for Florence. Come on, for Florence. Alright. Gives every culture they've been wearing, but if it's you, you're doing a good job. Come on, give it up for Florence before she says anything. Come on, don't be mean with your hands. Give it up for her. Alright, so right now she's gonna tell us a word or two, what inspires her to do what she does, and then after that I'll be telling you what's happening next on our agenda, yeah? Okay. Give it up for Florence, guys. Come on. Shout for her. Shout if you can.
Dang.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello everyone. My name is Nasila Flores. I'm a fashion designer, a model, and a dancer. I designed all the models you have seen. I use my hands to make all the crochets you have seen. Yeah, I made them. If you want to buy, you can tell me. Or when you want something different from that, because I always love to sample my customers. So that was like a sample. But if you want something more cool, more nice, beautiful, you can tell me. Because those are like just simple things. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm here for a very simple discussion. But amidst all, we have a book that we're going to launch. A product of, from one of our very own products, a product of Reminac Rising Star Award, but also a product of Reminac Studios. Okay. With me, I am joined by two very beautiful ladies, and I have Miss Consilia Jacqueline. Could we please welcome her to the panel? She is a very distinguished guest on this panel because of her extremely active involvement and engagement when it comes to the issue of mental health. She is a wonderful psychologist, she is a songwriter, she's a singer, and amidst other things, she's someone that is extremely passionate about say poetry, the arts, and any other thing. We shall get to know more about her as we progress with our discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, I also have with me the poet and the writer, Miss Shatra. Can we please welcome her to the panel? She has written so far 2 poetry collections. She's almost making an anthology. And to the writers, we know how hard that is and how great a milestone it is in the life of such a young writer. She has written quite a number of other projects, but the published ones are, we have Light of Hearts, and the latest, the baby that we're going to be launching tonight is Soundless Morn. A very interesting collection about mental health. Maybe also I need to say that it's not just a collection of poems, it also has areas for you to color. So if you get it, you can have fun as you read. We shall be joined by one other person who is coming in anytime from now. But allow me to begin this discussion. I am going to start with a very brief preamble. Most of us here are parents, so I will not ask a lot, but I want the involvement of our young audience as much as possible. The issue of mental health is something that seems to be quite rampant compared to the past times. It could be that maybe the past times we did not have the avenues for discussion, and currently a lot is being brought forward, especially the media, but also through the arts and literature, which we have to appreciate. And you may even be surprised to think that mental health is a very big problem amidst the adolescents and the adults and the very young adults. But these days, even the young ones, the very, very young ones. I need to ask from this audience here, is there anyone with a mental health challenge? Anyone by show of hands? Do we know what mental health is? Who knows? Who knows what mental health is? Anyone? Do you know someone who has suffered from mental health? Do you? Okay, looks like we are safe. That is okay, so let us take the message. Before I come to you, Miss Jackie, let me first have something from Shakira. You wrote The Soundless Mourn. I have interacted with the book. It is wonderful. It is a very, very wonderful piece of literature, I have to say. But it goes without saying, the subject is quite intense, quite strong. I need you to tell us, what is it that inspired you to come up with this?
First of all, welcome everybody. My name is Nadwandera Shatra. I'm a writer, a poet, and currently a book author. Besides from that, I do a lot of other works, such as voice acting and dancing plus TV presenting. The question was, why did I write such a book with such a topic? First of all, mental health deals with the well-being of our brains, and this issue of mental health is spreading worldwide. It's not only dealing with the youths or the adults, but it's also dealing with the infants. It's dealing with ages from the infant stage to the old stage. This means that this issue, if it keeps on spreading, the entire world is going to be affected. And when it's affected, we are going to lose a lot of important people. And because of that, our world, when it comes to quality and standards, we are going to lose very, very, very important people, such as the people we have started losing in parliament. We've started losing very important people with this issue of mental health. It is really spreading worldwide. So the reason as to why I decided to put this message in my poetry collection is to be a voice of those that cannot speak, to be a voice of those that have this pain inside but cannot really let it out. And maybe if it reaches people that are concerned that can help in any way, shape or form, shape these people in the right way, we can get a better generation and a better future.
Yes, that is very insightful and wonderful. I just still with you. You see, there is one of the greatest African writers. I'm not sure. It's not Chinua Achebe. It could be Wallace Soyinka. I could be wrong, and I stand corrected. But I think he said that a writer scratches his itch on paper. And so I need to ask you something. It could be a bit more personal, but if you don't mind. Reading The Soundless Mourn, you would think that you have a very practical experience with mental health. And I need to say this, mental health does not mean, lack of it does not mean you're mad. The two terms are not synonymous. Madness and mental health are not synonymous terms. But do you by any chance, have you interacted with people that have had issues with mental health or you yourself, have you had a very practical experience with it to come up with such vivid description of the things that really partake of mental health?
Personally, I can't tell that I've experienced this issue of mental health, but for real, I can tell that I have interacted with quite a number of people with this challenge. And after talking to them, actually, I've got relatives, I've got friends. There are some people I've talked to that I'm not really related to and have been suffering from this challenge. I've read a number of books expressing this challenge of mental health, and by this I've got to realize that it is a really big problem in the world we are living in today, and it really needs serious attention.
Someone is helping me understand in a way that can make me comfortable, meaning I can seek help. So as creatives, that's our job, to disseminate this information, to make it easy for people to relate with this topic, to make it a conversation worth having, not a taboo topic. So yes, I hope I've answered your question.
Wonderfully, thank you very much. To you, Miss Jackie, still in the same line and light, but you know, being a singer, that is a very powerful medium, music, and you talked about therapy. And as Africans generally, therapy, especially clinical therapy, is not our thing, because you know that, like you say, there's a lot of stigmatization going on, and like I say, mental health has been synonymously, rather mistakenly, taken as a synonym for madness, having a mental breakdown, or what have you not. But still in the arts, the direction of, I'm sorry, I want to come to you as a psychology, but let's first go to the arts, a performer. Your relationship and how you try to use your art to, you know, try to help and address this issue.
Thank you so much. My name is Kosinge Jacqueline. When we talk about the creatives in general, including poetry, singing, art, fine art, in most cases, creativity brings about expression. So there are some things that we go through that become a very difficult thing for us to express. For example, you could be having anger and you've not learned how to express your anger. You feel you need to hit something, you're building up this anger inside of you, and you do not know you're passive aggressive, you're always quarreling, you're always fighting, and you do not know where is this coming from. So when it comes to the creativity, it puts us in this position whereby we can easily express our emotions. Because as human beings, we are bound to feel something. We are bound to have emotions. There is nothing that should be, we shouldn't be ashamed of how we feel. Be it anger, be it jealousy, be it any form of, be it excitement, be it happiness. We shouldn't be put in a position where we feel embarrassed of our emotions. But because society sometimes puts us in a position whereby we have to bottle up certain forms of emotions, and with creativity, people they easily express this forbidden kind of like emotions like anger. For example, you see your child like they're having a tantrum, they're falling down, you're like, why should you be doing this? What? You know? So creativity brings out the emotions that people have been bottling up for a very, very long time. And that's what music, as a singer, that's what I bring to the listener. So like you could be this person who's not good at expressing maybe resentment over maybe abuse, over maybe certain circumstance that was not good to you. But then when you hear a certain song that speaks about the same situation that you're going through, there's a relationship to the message. and therefore it helps you feel validated and it helps you feel seen and heard. And I believe sometimes people go through mental health challenges because they feel unseen, they feel unheard, and therefore feeling unsafe. But then when we hear someone that has a stranger that has a certain familiar story through their creativity, you feel seen, heard, and therefore feeling safe in your own bottled up emotion. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, thank you very much. You may not know what exactly we are talking about when we say that. I think the takeaway is expression. Room for expression, and the arts generally creatives have given us that special room. It might have been there, but I think contemporarily we are using the media of the arts, and we are grateful. Shatra, if I come to you about the process, to me, as an adult, as a writer as well, an artist, I find it quite advanced for one of her age to come up with such a strong subject, and when you interact with the book, she handles it eminently well. You would think she has had physical experience with it. And last time we were having a conversation and she told me, I have known people who have, suffered. I have talked to them, I have made research. And I was like, that is wonderful. So ladies and gentlemen, you may not have interacted with Soundless Mourn. Right about now, I need us to listen to the poetess. I feel like, is there a better word for poetess? It seems out of rhythm when I say it, but to the writer. And she's an aspiring novelist, I think you told me. You're working on a novel, so the both of you have someone to mentor. I'm telling you, by the time she gets to 20, we'll have a library of her books. We're looking forward. But ladies and gentlemen, allow me officially introduce once again our little writer, Ashatra, to come and recite one of her, what she seems to take as the best poems in her collection. Right about now, you're going to take the floor and give us just one of your best your best poems. Is that okay? As we proceed after that, wonderful, please.
There are lots of poems in my books. Sorry. For now, we're talking about Soundless Mourn. It's got lots of poems about mental health. But for now, I'll be reciting the poem titled Ghost. Sometimes terror has no beginning or end. You knock down the door to my soul day by day, night by night, and until when it was completely broken, did you stop? Every day is night for me, for the nightmares that flood my mind, induced by the cruelty of your actions. My eyes are filled with fire every time I remember that you were the spark to my fall. Sometimes terror has no beginning or end. Inside the deepest parts of my heart, to the core of my soul, is a craving for your end. For all the hurt you have caused, your daylight will turn to night. Your darkest hour shall come, and you will cease to be anything but a ghost.
If you're not crying, you're a witch. Let's agree on that. Can we give her another round of high clap, please? That is wonderful. It's beautiful. And to anyone that can relate to such a tone and such register, like Miss Jacqueline said, you're not alone. It's important that you know that. Writers know that one of the hardest things to do is to perform your own work. It is so hard. You'd rather watch someone mess it up, and you nailed it. She did wonderfully performing her poem. So, you know, there is another book. This is Light of Hearts. Now, you know, God works in various ways, and that's quite mysterious. We were having a discussion with Shatra last time. I was telling her to tell me if there is a relationship between Light of Hearts and Soundless Moons. And, you know, this is her first work. But when you read the two, this seems to answer this, which is wonderful. I find it amazing because the themes are quite deep. I don't know what's happening with this mic, but the themes are quite dark, but with a lot of exploration. This seems to provide the light, which is wonderful. So we are going to tweak these. This one's here. Shatra, there are young people here that are looking at you, they're watching you. I need you to briefly tell us what process, all the things, the steps that you took to have this masterpiece here. For them to, because if they're not inspired, you've inspired me, and I think you've inspired most of us that are here, really. You are a challenge, and we have to look up to you now. You have handled a subject that it's quite, we fear to handle. You are brave. Just share briefly, what steps did you take to have this masterpiece?
To have the book Soundless Moon as a whole, first of all, I had to go through lots of processes, and the first process was to get to know more about mental health. The moment I got to know a little bit about mental health, knowing that it's got great effect on our lives. I had to go on and explore more things. I had to go on and explore more effects, how these people are, the things they go through. I had to talk to some of them. I had to read some books. I had to make some research from the people that were around me. That was the first step, and that was making research. The second step was making sure that I can write something that can flow in the line of mental health. I had to make sure that everything I write is in line with this subject. Everything I write flows within the limit of mental health. Okay, I can't say that mental health is really limited, for it's a very broad subject, but I had to make sure that everything I write reflects on our topic, which is basically mental health. The other thing I had to do was to make sure that every poem I write, okay, you can say a day or a week, maybe a month, is better than the one I wrote the previous day. I had to make sure that the information I have this day about mental health is better than the information I have. Okay, the information I have today about mental health is better than the information I had the previous day or week. In that way, I could come up with poems that flow within this line and, bringing out the topic very well.
That's wonderful. So, any young aspiring writers out there, you have someone to go to. You're lucky. We did not have such opportunities when you were younger. You had to figure out stuff yourself. Probably try to imitate Charles Dickens, who is far-fetched, and then you have to struggle with marketing. That is wonderful. I want to come to Miss Jackie. I am a guidance counselor, and you and I would agree that therapy is not something that planned people, planned kids, planned bamulekwas, planned poor people, they try to go for therapy. But it's the very minimal in number, really. And amidst all interactions, I'm also a teacher, and I have seen children as young as 3, 5 struggling. And when I was reading this, there was a student represented here for me. There is a subject that was represented here. There is a person that has come for me, to me for guidance and counseling in here, because depression is highlighted here. People are depressed. You feel there is that bottomless pit that someone has dumped you in, and it keeps getting dimmer and dimmer, which is wonderful. What, as a psychologist, which I want to believe you have interacted with the subject quite numerous times, probably more than any of us here, what do you think, first of all, just briefly, is the cause for such situations? Because if it's something 18 years and above, we can understand. They have started to see light. But when it's 3-5 years, that is quite sad. It's highly melancholic. What do you think that we have such diversified forms of mental health?
It's quite unfortunate that is happening to our generation and especially our young people. But at the same time, it's something that is not new. We are very lucky that in our generation it has light, but even before, like you could hear our grandparents, they went through war, liberation wars and all of these other things, but because for them they were surviving, they did not have time to even think about them being safe. But now we're in a time whereby there is a lot of stability, especially politically. There could be maybe a little bit of maybe financial instability and all of that thing. But I believe it was a problem that used to happen a long time ago. It's just that this time it has more light. Knowledge is very progressive and knowledge grows. So because of even this new topic of mental health that people are getting to be more and more aware of, people, the creatives are talking about it, the people that have studied about mental health are talking about it, books are being written about it, and that is why we can easily see and know the signs. But in those days, there were very high forms of maybe child neglect, and no one cared. You understand? But now we're more aware, and I think that's the beauty of the creatives, because it brings awareness. You understand? Whereby nowadays people are not talking about happy songs alone. Not talking about party songs alone, because sometimes you can look and say, why is someone a chronic party animal? So there has to be something wrong. So nowadays we question behavior, we question patterns, and I think that is the main problem is awareness. We are now too much aware of things that are happening, and so we even see it in the little ones. And I think it's a good thing, because now we work on it very early on. Yes, as opposed to finding your child maybe being addicted to drugs, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I was abandoning her maybe when she was young. And yeah, so I think it's a bad thing, but again, it's a good thing because now we are more aware. Yes.
Thank you very much. That is one of, you've reminded me of something as we wind down. To the parents in here, I have always talked to my parents, whose children I teach, that this generation, it's not only the children that are in trouble, even parents. They have another competing and competitive parent, television, the media. So if you do not come out to parent your child, the media will. And the problem is the media will do it in whichever way, in however way possible. So if you do not come in to be the frontline parent, you're in trouble. The media, everyone preaches whatever they can preach. And that's why you find someone, I was reading an article of TikTok, media and, societal influences. And, you hear someone committing suicide because apparently her TikTok was banned or she lost her following. And it's sad, isn't it? To think that if I have many followers, I've made it in life, but you can't blame them. As young as 17, 16 downwards. It's quite sad. Miss Faith, as a lawyer, a legalist, I'm most especially inspired, but also interested in how you've had experience with GBV, gender-based violence cases. Because you see, long time ago, men you had to be sad, to be depressed in a different way, that they didn't even notice it. But also studies show that their snapping levels were higher than women's snapping levels. You hear someone waking up one time and the entire family is gone. And they they unalive themselves. We've dealt with suicide cases. As a person in that light, in relation to what happens at home domestically and mental health, because sometimes I feel it is the genesis of everything in that light. What do you have to say as a legal professional, but also as someone who has interacted? Because gender-based violence, really, there is something driven psychologically, that drives that.
Thank you so much. That topic is actually rather broad. The biggest issue is the fact that we are still in the African traditional society in the 21st century. Like, the things that still have to move a certain way, there's a chain of command that they're supposed to follow. So you find that I interacted with a case where a father raped their child, and after that, when it came to court proceedings, the mother was defending her husband. Like, no, my husband does not do anything wrong, But the girl was 10 years old, and they had become something else. They were 10 years old, they were hurting, and they were going through this, but the mother was all, my husband can't do that. He's the head of the family, he can't do that. So we found a lot of hindrance in that perspective, that you find that in our traditional societies, what the father says goes. If he says, today you're not going to go to school, you're not going to go to school. The mother won't stand up and be like, you try to understand the children, they need this. And the funny thing is, now our children are aware. Like my previous speaker was saying, the children are aware of what they deserve, they know what they need, and they speak up. The Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, they speak up. They're not afraid to tell you what they want. And in the legal aspect is we've been trying to make people aware of their rights, which is hard. There was an organization that had been established by the Judicial Commission called Justice Centers. It used to do sensitizations up to village level, trying to make the law as simple as possible for the people to understand, which is no longer there. They defunded them for some reason and they're no longer there. I don't know what happened, but it's no longer as proclaimed as it was. So you find that people are also oblivious of the law. That's the same thing happening with people with suicide. Up to now, I've been on the floor back and forth trying to advocate for decriminalization of suicide. It's a crime. So people can't speak up. When someone self-harms and it does not go through, they try to hide. They try to make it a successful attempt because they know if it's not a successful attempt, they're going to go to jail. I know 4 people who are going to jail because their suicidal attempts didn't push through and they're in jail. 2 of them committed suicide, that was last year. The 2 have not yet checked in to see if they're still alive, but it's still a hindrance. The law and society, the law and traditional values are still clashing a lot, and there has to be a middle ground. People need to be aware of their rights. The children also have to be aware of their rights. I remember growing up, I don't know if you remember PSA, remember those things. There was so much education about the topics, and by then, AIDS was a big problem. Malaria was a big problem, and there were storybooks, there was sensitization, there were practically posters everywhere you would go. Say no to sex, abstain, do what? Like, it was everywhere, which is not here lately. They practically just left it for everyone to figure out on their own. So there's still so much work to be done, and there has to be a middle ground between our traditional values and the law. There has to be a middle ground and find ways of harmonizing the two to work together. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. As we wind down, we have to say to the children here, watching and listening to us, that, like my colleagues have said, you are not alone. I don't know if we can emphasize that beyond what we can, but if there is, we hope it works. You are not alone, you are never alone. You are never alone. And the good thing about being a child is you are at a place where multitudes of people have been. It's the blessing with being a child. You are in a place or at a place where your parents have been, some grown-up friends have been, so you can always talk to someone. And I also need to say, it is not fine, but it's okay. It's not fine to have a mental health challenge, but it's okay. It is okay. These days on TikTok, we say we listen, we do not judge. We listen, we do not, because the world needs more of that. You would think that you're going to go to someone and they're going to judge you. You do not know what I have gone through. You know? So trust that you're not alone. And that is the only trust that is true. You are not alone. Back to our Mugole. Soundless month. I want to crown it down with you, and maybe if we have some questions, maybe we shall take them, but I think we are almost stretching the hands of our clock. Shatra, I can't really say how much I am inspired. Miss Jack is inspired. Miss Faith obviously is inspired. And these are people that are, riding in the same direction with you, and so do I, really. I appreciate this. But to a writer, every piece means something to them. Be it a movie, be it a play, be it a novel, be it a poetry collection, it means something. I need you to just tell us what this specific collection means to you as a writer, as a young writer. And also, what is it that you want, especially the youngest audience, to take out from the session?
First of all, this poetry collection really means a lot to me. It's been quite a process coming up with such a collection. And this poetry collection, to me, I see something that when it gets a chance to reach a multitude of hands, when it gets a chance to go into hands of lots and lots and lots of professionals or concerned citizens, it's going to change a variety of lives. For I say that it's a voice to those that don't really have a voice to speak out. It's a voice to those that are going through deep pain. And to me, it's something that is really going to help save a lot of lives when it reaches the hands of those that are concerned and those that can help in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you very much. I hope our youngest audience, they have come. You'll have to agree with me that I have had a very wonderful panel, isn't it? Can you please clap for them? We are winding down. I don't know if there are any questions. Are we, MC Awala, are there, you have a question, please come forward. Anyone else? I want us to please come. Just two? Wonderful. Okay, we hope they are representative anyway. Please, let us give them a hand as they come forward.
Thank you. And since you're speaking about mental health in different perspectives, feelings, emotions, behavior, and all that, how do I support someone telling me about their mental issue?
I would like to thank you for this opportunity, but my question is, how do I get to know as a girl that I'm mentally unhealthy? How do I get to know that mentally I'm not well?
Thank you. I think those are very wonderful questions. Of course, my first answer will be please buy the book. It is 30,000 a copy, together with the sister. They are both 30,000. No. The sister is 20. Okay. I was losing my job. Okay, 20 and 30. But those are very good questions. I think just let's use a minute to try to bring those questions to light, maybe. Shatra, do you have a response so that I can go like this? Or we can start like this? Okay, let's start with Miss Jackie.
So the first question of when someone comes to me, how do I help? It depends on what someone is saying, because sometimes you could be speaking to someone who's suicidal, and that calls to maybe talking to maybe their parents, if it's a child. Maybe you talk to you like connect them to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, someone that they believe in, that you feel they are safe for them. But the biggest, I think that the most thing that you can do is listen without you trying to give them a solution. Because sometimes people just want to be heard. You understand? Sometimes people just want to feel safe. So the best that you can do, unless it's suicide, but the best that you can do is listen without wanting to fix their problem. Is listening without wanting to judge them, wanting to giving them a solution. So that's the advice that I could give you. But if it's in like extreme cases whereby it's life-threatening, I think you can contact people that could be of help better. Yes.
Understand how to help. As I would first say that mental wellness and being mentally unwell, you could be sad, you're mentally unwell. You know, you could be disappointed, you're mentally unwell. It doesn't have to be an extreme situation. So for me, the best way you could help is try to understand where the person is coming from, because as someone who has struggled with mental health before, I don't want you to go and seek help for me. Like, I really don't want that. I don't want you, I just want you to just understand where I'm coming from. And if you can't handle, there's so many people that you can recommend, and try not to be direct about it. Immediately you direct, the person takes it like you're attacking them, like you're judging what they're trying to tell you. So try to find as much advice as possible from professionals. You can actually find advice from professionals, and they tell you how to approach this person. And if the person is close to you, try to involve them in activities that they used to like to do. If they used to like to write and they stopped writing, if they used to like singing and they stopped singing, try to put them in environments that make them be themselves, that enable them to be comfortable to open up. So,
Thank you very much. Shefra, do you have something you have to say about that? Okay.
How to help these people that are suffering from mental health issues. First of all, as you said, always try to understand them. Before answering them, try to know the cause of their suffering. Try to understand the process that has brought us to this issue, because you might try to explain something else which is really not hurting them, but in that way you might end up depressing them the more, you might end up making them more anxious. But if you try to understand them and try to get a better solution for them, then you can be able to help them in a good way.
All right, thank you very much. And then also there is one hack I think that we need to take out. When someone comes to you, personally, and I think other people do it, always ask, how can I help? Do not assume that what you're going to offer is the help they need. Please ask, how can I help? You know, sometimes someone just wants to be heard. There is a lot of effort and magic in being heard. You know, a lot of a very, very big thing when you know, just to know that I am heard. Because that is the beginning of I am seen. I am listened to. Now I can take the next step. So how can I? Don't come someone tells you, for me I want to, this life has no balance, I want to end it. And then you run to my mother. You may run to my mother if my mother sadly is the reason as to why my life has no balance. See what you've done there? So how can I help? They may say, no, I just want to talk to you, and that is okay. Do not push it, all right? Now the second question is, how can I know that I'm Well, I was being honest, and you people laughed. This book will tell you. Okay? So it's a good book, it will tell you because it has the things that are indicative of mental health and wellness, but also some bit of how do I get out of this. Okay? So, but let me also have my colleagues just briefly as wind down. How can I know the indicators? I know we talked about them somewhere in general, but this is specific. How can I know?
Thank you very much again. So usually mental health is just trauma that is not dealt with, or trauma that has not left your body. So for you to feel unwell, when you feel overwhelmed by a certain emotion, especially that on the negative side, being stressed is not a problem, being depressed is not a problem, but if you're stressed beyond 2 weeks, then you're having a mental problem. So it's just something that reaches to a point that it is uncomfortable and overwhelming, and it's exhausting. Any emotion that is so exhausting, uncomfortable, overwhelming, it puts you in this position whereby you feel you're having a mental breakdown. Thank you.
I think my previous speaker said the most important thing. Maybe one thing I could add is loss of interest in the things that you are previously interested in, because people have different outlets. When you notice your colleague just stops doing something that they really, really liked, or you yourself, per se you like to do exercise, you like to do certain things for yourself, but you can't explain it, but you no longer have interest in whatsoever. You just want to be alone. So many times that can also be an indicator.
Thank you very much. Shatra, you have something to say? Is there anything about that? Okay.
All I can say right now is that the answer is in Southwest mode.
You are saying that the answer is in soundless mode. Maybe later when we have the time, she will read one of the poems. But also from me, they have said it all. However, maybe what I can add is mental health is as big and vast a challenge as it is very small. Just being sad, you're not mentally well. But that is quite temporary. You could have mood swings. You could have had a very bad day. But you need to rejuvenate, you need to bring yourself together. You have to find something. Personally, if I do not read a book, if I do not watch a series, or if I do not watch a TikTok sometimes, but sometimes it can also be depressing altogether. So you have to find out what works for you. But also it could be as broad and permanent as having a gruesome attitude towards almost everything. Like she said, what used to make you laugh? Is the cartoon about Dechi? You make a joke here for now. Why you don't understand it? Sometimes you also, what is wrong with you? I also don't know. By the way, people, when someone tells you I don't know, they do not know. It happens, okay? Be a good listener. Be a good talker. Reach out. We are here to help. Your parents are there to help. Your peers, your colleagues, your teachers, as well, since we spend most of the time at school anyway, they are also there to help. And if we have teachers in here, please, please, please be a safe place. I think I don't have a child, but I feel like I have given birth to very many children that I deserve. This one comes skulking. Why didn't you do the homework? You won't understand. And indeed, when they tell you, you feel like, I know why you said I won't understand. But we are here together. All right. We're coming, we've reached the top and the beginning of the end of this session. So we want to thank you so much. Once again, I want to thank Miss Jacqueline, Miss Faye, Miss Shatra, Soundless Mon for making this discussion, Reminac Studios, Reminac Comics, Reminac TV, and all the media representatives here. And we hope that we are having an outreach, and we hope that these voices are going to be heard. Ladies, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me. We wish you the best of the rest of the time. God bless you and you stay safe. Thank you so much. This is Peter, and thank you for your attention.